Let's get into this NFL Week 2, shall we? Buffalo beat Miami, and everybody was about Tua with the concussion, which was the biggest story. Never mind the Bills beat Miami up. James Cook cooked them, and Miami's overrated, flash in the pan, don't really want to play defense. And if you can halfway keep Tyreek Hill in front of you, there's not a lot going on with them. And the Dolphins are not as good as the hype is. Believe that. I know the Bills do this every September in the Josh Allen era, Sean McDermott era, but there is something that feels like they're making a commitment to the run. Von Miller was spotted and showing, as I did the video the other day. They roasted Miami. The Bills are going to win the AFC East. It's not up for discussion. And they will be one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the AFC. Make no mistake. Now, we always, main concern is how they finish and where they are in January. We don't worry about how they start. We're going to see how they finish. As for Miami, they'll beat up on some tomato can teams and stat pad, but Tua's got to worry about his health. Bigger fishes, they're just not that good. They're a lot of, they'll score a lot of points. They'll look good, but they can't really beat nobody that matters. Minnesota beat San Fran, and I'm going to tell you, the score wasn't as close as the final because it was that fumble by the goal line. Madison is a great revelation for the 49ers. Purdy was moving the ball. They just couldn't get in the end zone. And their secondary got ate up. Now, Jefferson went out, but he hit that 97-yard from Sam Darnold, who looked kind of poised. That was scary. Are the Vikings a dark deep secret for this year? Stay tuned. NFC could be interesting. There's some parity going on in NFC. A rematch of a Super Bowl that was a joke 10 years ago. This time, Seattle came out on top in overtime, and it's not the same. 2 rookie coaches. The Seahawks just, Geno Smith looked good. And New England is going to be competitive, but they're going to be outmatched a lot of times. They're not going to meant to be scoring points like that. So Seattle won that game. It's an impressive win for Seattle. Seattle's going to be a little bit better than some people think. I think they'll do enough to be a little bit in the mix. I don't know how good they really are because I still don't trust Geno Smith fully, but they'll be enough to be a team that's wild card worthy. A game that somebody had to win. Washington beat the Giants by 3. It wasn't a spanking, but it was an ugly game. The Giants should have won the game. That was that drop pass. Daniel Jones actually threw a decent pass for a change. Washington just can't score. And these 2 teams are definitely going to be fighting for the basement of the NFC East. It's just really not really much to get excited about. It's just a matter of who will finish in 3rd place of these 2, because that's really what it is. The Chargers beat Carolina. There's no shock. Everybody beats Carolina. As a matter of fact, Bryce Young got benched, and they're already throwing in the towel for him. Andy Dalton's getting the call up. Yeah, they quitting on the kid. It's his fault, but they're just not a good team. They stink, and the Chargers are doing what they're supposed to do. So Green Bay beat Indy. It was a pretty close game, but Green Bay did enough. There was enough of balance. They were controlling the tempo enough. That was a good game. And until Jordan Love gets back, they did enough to win. Cleveland beat Jacksonville. Deshaun Watson did enough. It's one of those grinded out type of situations, It's nothing pretty or nothing like that. They grinded it out. So as for Jacksonville, they got to get back to the drawing board. Got to figure out how not to make mistakes and cut down and do what they're supposed to do. That's really what it comes down to. Because they're going to be in games. It's just about finishing. Jets beat Tennessee. It was a lackluster game. Tennessee needs a real quarterback. They need a real quarterback and some special teams because that's what's cost them from being 2-0 right now. They should have beaten Chicago, and they probably should have beat the Jets. Aaron Rodgers did enough to win, but let's be realistic. He's 40, and he'll have a moment or 2, but he ain't going to get the Jets out that deep. And you always just cringe that he could get hit, and that could be it because they're still vulnerable as all get out. Tampa Bay with a character win over Detroit. Baker Mayfield came up big. Detroit's been playing kind of cutesy, and I think they're starting to believe their press clippings, and they're sneaking up on teams like they did last year. So you got to be more consistent. Well-poised game by Tampa Bay. Did enough to do what they're supposed to. Speaking of playing cutesy, Baltimore blew this game against the Raiders, and 2 straight weeks of losing close games and not finishing and costly mistakes. And I think I said this before, Lamar Jackson, 2-time league MVP, needs a better coach who understands how to get things done. They're not utilizing Derrick Henry the right way. Gunnar Mitchell came up big, hit some big passes. I know I ain't say his name right, but you know who he is, the quarterback for the Raiders. He came up big. They were real poised. They finished up. They did their job. Their defense woke up too when it counted. Arizona beat the Rams. This is a shocker for some. The Arizona with some defense could have been 2-0. They lost that game in Buffalo last week, but Kyler Murray been balling. I don't think people really paying attention because I'm gonna talk about New Orleans a little bit, but Kyler Murray thus far has been one of the 2 or 3 best quarterbacks in the NFC. He balling, and they spanked the Rams, shook them up. That's the Kyler Murray that was supposed to get results. The Rams, I don't know what to say. Sean McVay sometimes looks great and sometimes he looks lost. But they're definitely in some trouble. Houston beat Chicago, and Caleb Williams is doing them growing pains. The Bears never do right by their offense. They never do right. CJ Stroud did enough, and it was again, it's a situation where growing pains, Chicago and offense don't go together. Pittsburgh beat Denver in the game somebody had to win. Justin Fields did enough. Denver is a work in progress, Bo Nix, and it's a young, fresh, green team. Their defense is decent, but it's gonna be growing pains there. And Sean Payton this is this trial year. It's gonna be a lot of work. They're a work in progress. Atlanta beat Philly. Kirk Cousins came to ball. Saquon Barkley dropped that one crucial catch. If he catches that ball, that might seal the game, I believe. But give Kirk Cousins his due. Led the game-winning drive. They finished it up. Philly looking kind of spotty in some instances, and I think that this is one of their Achilles. They are a flawed team who don't always finish like they're supposed to, and this one showed in that. Of course, I got to talk about, I'm going to say the best for last, but the one next to it, New Orleans smashed Dallas. I already did a separate video about it. Dak Prescott's overrated. Mike McCarthy's overrated, should be fired. Jerry Jones needs to go somewhere and sit down. Derek Carr looking like Drew Brees did during his, looking like a beast. He looked good. He looked like the Raiders wasted that. And Alvin Kamara turned the clock back. He's Benjamin Button for real. A very impressive win for New Orleans. And they are 2-0, but they are scary 2-0. 91 points first 2 weeks. And if they play in defense and they can score like that, New Orleans could be a problem. They could be a problem because there's a lot of softness in the NFC. They could be a problem. And we'll see how it turns out. But if Derek Carr is playing like this will be the Derek Carr that should have been all along, because he just didn't reach his heights. And he's definitely coming into his own. And, of course, the last game I say for us, Kansas City over Cincinnati. Typical. Burrows fumbles, makes a mistake. Mahomes does enough to scoop. They win. They get the game-winning field goal. That's how it is. Pacheco got hurt. Kansas City running back. But I'm going to tell you something. It's mentally psychological. Kansas City is the new England Patriots. Andy Reid is the new Bill Belichick. And Mahomes is the new Tom Brady. They capitalize off your mistakes. They don't beat themselves. It's fundamental football. It ain't always pretty. It can be very ugly. But it's a W. And no matter what you say and how you try to say, well, we were close, you got to take that L. And there's a reason why Patrick Mahomes is by himself with all them rings, and his peer groups combined, aside from Burrow going to a Super Bowl runner-up, they're not seeing January into February, because this is another example of how they finished. Despite Travis Kelce being a no-show, people saw more of Taylor Swift than they did of him. But, hey, they got weapons. They found a way to win. Their defense is bringing it. So that's my takes on week 2. You let me know how your team did. Let's chop it up, because I think I covered all the teams. I believe I did. And it was some upsets, some surprises. Then there's not some surprises, because the teams that are legit are going to find a way to win. I know one thing. There's a lot of second, third tier quarterbacks and a lot of bad defense. I saw a lot of secondaries getting ate up. So anyway, that was week 2 in NFL. Try to do this every week. Please hit that like, subscribe on thoughts, comments, and keep your mind clear. Hit that membership. Stay focused, stay blessed, stay true, stay cool, stay on point. I'm out one time. Peace.